how long have you been teaching?
This is my 28th year.
28 years.
20 years.
Did you know, I mean, when was it, I guess, that you knew that you wanted to be a teacher?
I think when I was young, probably middle school age, I admired my teachers so much. The ones that really influenced me, they made the class fun, and even at that age, I loved working with kids. And as I got into high school and so forth, it was just one of those things where you kind of felt like that was your purpose. It's what you were meant to do. So went to college and strayed off a little bit on some of the subjects in the beginning, but I was soon interested. I need to stay focused. This is what I want to do. So.
Yeah. Were there any teachers, looking back, when you went through school or even maybe in college, that you thought, that's who I kind of want to be? They kind of molded you?
Yeah, I probably had to say there's probably several. Probably the ones that stick out the most. High school, I had a teacher named Mr. Conrad. He's also the football coach, but you look so forward to walking his class every day. He just made it fun. He very, personable. Talked to the kids. Never raised his voice. Very, very helpful. If you had problems, even outside, the classroom, he was always there for you. He was kind of like a second dad in a sense. He was just a great person. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but I have so many memories of him, just from, again, teaching, of course, and then he just carried it over to football. Was an excellent coach.
If somebody who's never stepped foot in your class, when they walk in, what are they going to see?
A lot of motivation. From the time we walk in, I greet the kids, and that's what I want to do. It's not because I feel like I have to. We want to try to get the kids. We want the kids to be there. I have a lot of motivation posters around the room on my desk. Of course, the golden apple's right in the middle now. So, but yeah, a lot of motivation, greeting, positive. I feel like myself. If I'm not a role model and I'm not coming to school every day, 100% positive, motivated, then I can't expect the kids to be that way. So we keep it upbeat. When the kids get kind of down, tired, I'll do some crazy things sometimes. Do a dance, do a song, just liven up. Sometimes we do yoga, stretches, just to get the blood flowing and get the class going. So.
Sure. Were you familiar with the golden apples before this?
Yeah. I've watched it on the news. I've seen the teachers. I've had some teachers that I knew from different areas that had won the golden apple, and seen some of the clips from past and so forth. And I always watched and thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. I actually, until now, didn't realize it had covered such a large area. I'd heard a teacher from Vincennes had won it, and I didn't realize it had covered such a large region. But watching the news, again, and fellow teachers, I thought it was a pretty awesome award. So,
what does it mean to you that somebody took the time to nominate you?
Wow, that's the trophy. That's the ultimate. I mean, the trophy's awesome, but to think of a student who actually sat down, took the time to write that essay, and when they read that essay to me, it was like, wow. It was moving, very moving, very special. We have great kids. We're very fortunate, and even just to think one of them took the time to write such a moving letter was very impressive.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about that. For somebody who's never stepped foot in the school, the staff, the kids, what would you want people to know about them?
I would want people to know that their kids are in good hands. We have amazing teachers here. I won the award, but we have so many golden apple teachers in the school. I mean, from the top down, our administration is amazing. I mean, they support you. They're right there for you, in and out of the classroom. Teachers, 100%. And one thing I like about the teachers here is that they do give 100%, and they try hard to make the class fun. And I think kids are here and they feel safe. They're having fun. They want to learn. Kids bring a lot to the table. And it's our job to make sure we get to know what makes them tick. And if you understand, your kids, then you got a chance. And I think all the teachers here do that.
Now, we've got two elementary school teachers at one, two high school teachers at one, all four women.
Oh, here?
You're the
Yeah?
only guy.
Oh, wow.
You're the only
Great.
guy this year. But you're also the only middle school teacher. So
Oh, wow.
why middle school?
I've been asked that a lot. The variety, the challenge. The kids, they're going through a lot of things right now. I mean, I have 4 girls. I know what it means to be an 8th grader. And I started teaching 8th grade my first year and taught several years. Then went to 6th grade, and then now I'm back to 8th grade, and I love it. This is my place. I think it's the variety, it's the challenge. And with kids, I think if you put them on that 8th grade level and you put that expectation of behaving, acting like an 8th grader, then they're gonna perform for you. But I think it's the variety. Yeah.
Your principal had mentioned that you're involved in a lot of different things outside of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things he mentioned was that you approached him not too long ago about putting together a club in the morning.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. Why is that important to you?
Well, I taught at the Justice Center. I taught adult GED there for several years. And I just saw so many, I call them kids, but I had guys that were 50 plus years old. So many of them that their life was a struggle. And I feel for that group of people, that, I had great parents. We have kids, students who don't have support that they need, and I think the group itself, as like the jail, is the underdog. Sometimes we see kids struggle, and it's like, to me, we don't want to see them swept underneath. The morning club we call the breakfast club. We call them our focus group, and we've got 5, 6 boys that come, and just to see them go out from our meetings, and just like the last couple of weeks, we've seen no behavior problems. So it's rewarding to see them, and it's a goal group. We set goals. We want to accomplish these things this week. We want to do this. Of course, we have donuts in the morning, and we made biscuits and gravy one day, which I think helps motivate them a little bit. But it's just it's our job as teachers to recognize kids that need a little extra help. I guess that's the best way to say it. And sometimes, we with all the things going on, that's a challenge. It is a challenge. But to me, I feel like it's part of that purpose that I need to fulfill, because I just that they have so much potential. There's so much potential, and if you're goal-oriented, you're less likely to make bad decisions, and that's what we focus on. Set high goals for yourself.
Sure. What's the biggest reward for you being a teacher?
I think watching a student succeed. Just having them get that look on their face, like, I get it. As a teacher, you have kids that you taught 20 years ago, and they come up, you remember me, and you're like, you have to think for a second, and they say, I'm right where I want to be. And to me, that's our job as a teacher. We teach kids to think critically, which is the number one skill that people that are hiring want, is critical thinking, problem solving. And I always tell kids, you want to put yourself, school's an investment, put yourself in a position where you are marketable and you're doing exactly what you want to do. You want to be, when you're older, school's an investment. Every day you come here, you have to say, it's going to get me right where I want to be. And I think if they do that, and 10 years from now they come back and see me and say, hey, I'm right where I want to be, that's big, that's rewarding.
What do you think? I mean, this is a tough time to be a teacher, and with a lot of things that are going on in the education system, what do you think's a challenge that you face?
Probably the biggest challenge, I guess, is sometimes I guess you could let the stress of testing and things like that kind of get to you. I typically don't. I feel like myself is, I'm confident. I think all of the teachers here are confident to say we're doing what's best for the kids. And if you're doing what's best for those kids, you're doing what's best. I mean, there's, scores are going to reflect what they reflect. But if you look at a kid who's giving you 100% and then you look at his grade on the grade book and it's a C, well, it's still 100%. And sometimes I think the pressure from outside is challenging, especially with the math and English. But beyond that, as far as stress, like I say, I come to school every day. I love my job. I don't really feel any stress from my job, and I think it's just because I feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do.
Sure.
So I come in and give 100% and then go home and sleep easy. So.
I guess years from now, when you retire and you're gone from your classroom, what do you want your kids to remember about your classroom and about you?
I would say that if down the road, if a student can look back and say, Mr. Hacker came to school, he gave me 100%. He was positive, he was humorous. He made me feel comfortable. He made me feel safe. He made time for me. Things like that. I think those are the keys, because if a kid feels comfortable enough to make mistakes and know it's okay, a lot of times, kids, they make mistakes. They think that's a bad thing. And I tell them that's a great thing, because you're failing your way to success. You got to make mistakes to be successful. And I think if they could just look back and say, Mr. Acker slowed down. He took time. He, I guess in a sense, gave me what I needed. And I think the first 2 weeks of school, you're here. That's your job. You got to get to know those kids. You got to know what makes them click, and then you can personalize it.
Sure. So they've been doing the Golden Apple at our station for about 26, 27 years.
Wow.
And it's 5 students or 5 teachers per year. But that's still a relatively small number considering our viewing area.
Right.
I mean, what does it mean to you that your name is actually on that award and on that list?
Oh, I was when you guys walked in, I was like, I hardly ever get embarrassed, but my face turned. I know it was beet red, but to me that's just like the icing. It's I look around and see all the great teachers that I know have won, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm there. I have that award, and it's to me it's a prestigious award for teachers. It's a sense of accomplishment, and like I said, the thought that a student actually just took the time to write that letter was that's huge itself. But to actually be among that group of people, it's to me, it's probably one of this area is probably the highest honors you can receive. So I feel very blessed, very fortunate.
Good deal. Is there anything you'd like to add that I didn't ask you? Anything that you want to mention that you think is important?
I probably go back to that. I think as a teacher, I am so blessed to be around great teachers, and I'm only as good as the people around me, and I like to acknowledge that, because we have an amazing group of staff here, and when I say staff, I mean everybody from the ground up, and open communication lines and share, work together. I just think that the one thing that I would like to end is saying that I feel like I'm where I am and was fortunate enough to get this award, and the big reason for that is the people I'm around. I feel very blessed to work with such a great group of teachers.
Yeah, absolutely.